Chinese scientists have successfully grown mouse embryos in space. These scientists have become the first group in the world to do something like this. It's pretty weird, but what they're doing is basically overcoming the biological hurdles of reproduction in orbit. But why? Why the hell would you do that? Well, the findings suggest that mammals could one day reproduce in the harsh microgravity environment of space, which in turn could vastly improve the chances of humans one day being able to basically colonize distant worlds and do the same thing. So, like everything, it starts off with doing fucked up shit to mice, okay? And then eventually we get down the line and we'll be doing it one day, or at least we hope to if things go right. So scientists feared in the beginning, this is why this was happening in the first place, scientists thought that gravity here on Earth was essential for these embryos to form, for the fetal tissue to come together, for organs to be made, all of that. We basically thought we needed the right kind of gravity, but these scientists were basically able to create this microwave-sized box. They put 6,000 different embryos in there. Not all of them, but some of them were able to reproduce and go on to evolve. And I think that's extremely interesting. So here's a picture of what it looked like before, okay? Here are the embryos. You know, you're not a scientist probably watching this. I'm not a scientist either. But just so you know, so you can have a visual. Let's go full screen on this. This is the 2-cell stage embryo. This is where it starts out. Now, they put a camera in there, and this is what the camera found. Now, this is the after part. So these high-resolution images basically show that some of the embryos developed into balls of cells called blastocysts, which is a key developmental stage at which the embryo can be implanted into the womb. So I'm not saying that, you know, they evolved into these full-on mice in space, but this is a crucial part of reproduction, and they were able to do it for the first time in space.
That's pretty cool.
Space babies.
Space babies. I mean, that's pretty cool, you know, and I love your point, your initial point about the mice. Always the mice, always the mice first. But I think this gives a lot of hope to what's to come in the future with regard to humans in space.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, a baby step. But at the same time, at the same time, you know, there's a lot of other hurdles that we have to get past. Bone density, for example, being in low gravity for years and years if you're space traveling. If we were to go and colonize other planets, radiation, for example, you know, how the hell we would get there in the first place. There's still a lot of hurdles, let alone, you know, how we would actually go about colonizing and making, you know, the environment suitable for humans. So there's still a lot of other things that go into play here. But I think this is important, and it goes to show that, you know, one day humans could be, you know, reproducing in space. Because Lord knows we are not very nice when it comes to treating our own planet with very much respect. So I think inevitably as the population grows, right, the planet ain't getting any bigger. We're getting bigger, but the planet's not. So eventually we're going to have to leave. And, you know, these kinds of things are important if we want the future of our species to survive, or if there will be a future at all. So for now, apparently the Chinese are putting some mice babies in space, or at least the embryos, and they are getting them to reproduce and multiply. I think that's very interesting. What do you guys think?